Hi everyone, and welcome to our live stream. Apologies that we're slightly late. We had a few tech hiccups, but we got there just in time, which is great. So welcome Helen from Barefaced Skin. Let's start with that because we haven't even had a chance to chat in the tech nightmare that we've just had. It's lovely to see you again, Helen.
Yes, lovely to see you too.
Thank you for joining me live today. So my name is Lorraine. I run Formula Botanica, and we're here today to talk about, first of all, our virtual open week, because at the moment our term time is open. So if you want to enroll with us, now is your opportunity. There are only just over 48 hours left until we close enrollment. So we very much hope that you'll join the almost 700 students that have already joined us in the last 5 days. Very exciting. And we're going to be talking today about what it's like to study at Formula Botanica, but also, most importantly, what it's like to start a natural skincare brand, or a vegan skincare brand, I should say, because I am joined by Helen Taylor, who's one of Formula Botanica's graduates and has her amazing brand, Barefaced Skin. And I've got one of your mini products.
Whoop, whoop.
So welcome, Helen.
Thank you.
So, we got there.
I know.
Let's start off by, because this is the first question I always get from everyone who watches. First of all, what did you study at Formula Botanica?
I did the diploma. I did the advanced diploma. I did the stability testing, and I also did the preservation. Woo-hoo. So yes.
Awesome. So now we've got that one out of the way. Anyone who asks, I will just keep repeating that because we get that question a lot during live streams. So let's talk a little bit about your brand first. Can you tell us more about Barefaced Skin, when you launched it, and what you sell?
Okay. Barefaced Skin are products which are multitasking. They're formulated to provide skin confidence. So if you like going out without makeup, you can do because your skin's glowing. Advert. But yeah, whether you've got skin conditions or you've got aging concerns, or just want to protect your skin against pollution or things like that, but it's like fuss free, so you don't have to use a lot of products to get the results you want. And what's your other question? Because
when did you launch?
I launched in 2017, but the brand I've been working on for quite a long time before that, because the format it's in at the moment, it was slightly different when I first started. And then I found a new product as an emulsifier that I could work with, which meant I could do a cold process, which I love. And it changed. But then I launched in 2017 after a lot of nail biting.
Yes. So you've been going for 3 years now, which is very exciting. So What type of products do you sell?
I have 3 face creams. I have one here, actually. This is the one I use. This is my dry skin cream called Hydrate. So if you've got really dry skin, it's great. Case in point, So I've got 3 face creams: Hydrate, Balance, and Mattify. So the Balance is for normal combing, and the Mattify is for oilier skins, and it does give you a matte effect on your face if you want to put makeup on, etc. And then I also have a body cream as well. But they're quite light. I have them in a lotion bottle. So if you can see there, they're quite light and they spread really well. And you only need a tiny little bit.
I've used them and they are very, very beautiful. And I love light creams. So you always win me over with that type of formulation.
Yeah, my skin doesn't like anything that just sits on the surface. So I had to, rejig it a bit.
So what inspired you to start your skincare brand?
It was a need, really. Before I started making my own skincare, I had really bad eczema. I was covered in it. And then I ended up with complications, and I ended up in hospital. I nearly died. And when I came out of hospital, I had lots of open sores all over me. And so it's a long healing process. And after the sores healed up, so I could actually put things on them, the products that I was using that were out there at the time, I found either I had to wash them off straight away because they just sting, or after a week or so of using, I had to change to something else. So I was like, well, let me think about this. And then I decided I'll go and learn how to make my own. So that's where it all started from.
So at that point, you started to formulate for yourself. When did you find Formula Botanica in that journey then?
I think I found Formula Botanica in 2000, it might be 2016, 2017. Mm. The reason being, I did go to classes to learn how to make products. So I had my products together, but I wanted a bit more background into the science of it all. So that's why I started with Formula Botanica. And I'm glad I did, actually. But I wish I'd found them a lot sooner.
So how did the courses help you then in that process? As you were designing your formulations, you already knew roughly what you were going to launch with. So other than the science, what did you get out of your studies?
Well, I think it sort of it does expand your knowledge. So you don't just stay in a safe place. You can experiment a bit more. You know, you learn about what you're doing and why you're doing it, etc. And then you learn other things which, okay, you may be able to outsource to somebody else if you think it's too hectic, and you can outsource to other people, but at least you have the background. So that's what I liked about it.
And I should add that Helen and I have met each other in person many, many times. You've come to, I think, most of our conferences.
Yes.
I was actually telling my team before I came on live that we had that really random occasion when I was traveling with someone from the team, and we came up the escalator on a London Underground during rush hour. So there were literally thousands of people around us. And suddenly you were just there in front of us.
Yay! I think I'm like all over you.
It was just the most bizarre thing. And we were like, Helen! And you went,
yeah, that was funny. No, it was good. It was.
So what's it like running your own skincare business?
Oh God. It has its ups and downs, put it that way. You're always learning. There's always things to find out that you didn't know. And that's what I have to say. So expect the unexpected. But yeah, there are some parts. I wouldn't say there's some bad parts, because it's not bad, because it's all a learning process. Yeah. But sometimes you're a bit, what do I do? You know, panic. So, but then you get through it. So it's just ups and downs along the way, but it is fun at the same time. So. Yeah.
That's the journey of the entrepreneur, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
We've all been there, and we all will be there. It's just the way things go when you run your own business.
Yeah.
So where do you sell your products at the moment?
Well, I've got my own website. Mm-hmm. So that's www.barefaceskin.co.uk.
We'll put that up in a minute as well.
I'm also on a website called Secology at the moment, because they did have a pop-up in Wimbledon? No, maybe Richmond. Yeah. Might be in Richmond. But obviously due to COVID and everything, they had to shut that down. So I'm online with them at the moment. And I've also just joined another website, but for wholesalers, called Create. So
fantastic. So you're branching out into retailers a little bit now, mainly online retailers then, by
yes.
things.
Yes, mainly because there are less overheads if you do it that way, rather than actually going to a store. So
yeah. And you've also been to some trade shows in the past, haven't you?
Yeah. I did Stylist. That was really fun. Yeah. I did have like a few people approach me at Stylist, but you know, I had Boots approach me at Stylist, and I was a bit, yeah. So I haven't heard anything from them, but you know, at least I think with something like that, people get to know you, especially if they don't know who you are. So there are opportunities at trade shows. Yeah. And I also did the Spirit of Christmas as well. But that was with a bunch of other brands through the Ethical Brand Directory, because I'm actually on their website as well. So
I saw that on your homepage as I was browsing it the other day.
Yeah.
So you've also got vegan certification, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
So what made you decide to go for a vegan brand over organic or any other type of certification?
Well, technically I am organic as well, but I haven't gone through the certification because I do use certified organic products. So I decided on the vegan mainly because of like I suppose it's obviously it gives it you know, if you've got people with sensitive skin especially and they happen to be vegan, I didn't want to rule them out, so I thought I'd do that anyway. It's not like I want to use products that are tested on animals or have anything to do with animals anyway. So yeah, that was part of my thinking. But also at a later date, I may go down and do the organic certification as well.
Okay.
Because I did look into it, but it's a bit more expensive than than you anticipate. So yeah.
And so what's been the response from your customer base since you've started selling products? So what's their feedback?
Well, I get quite a few people coming back saying, "Oh, it's wonderful! It's helped me so much." I've had people, who had skin conditions who said it's almost like a treatment, even though it's like a beauty product. It's like a treatment-based beauty product, which has helped them a lot. So that's really good.
So you're getting great feedback as well. I've got a lovely comment here as well from Hallie, who says, sometime last year, my sister-in-law brought your face revival cream to Ghana. It's called Hydrate. It was a gift for me. I finished it all up and loved it. I'm careful to put anything on my face, but that was different. Oh,
that's so cool.
Yeah, you're going global.
Yeah. Well, you like that.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about how you formulate them. So what's your first of all, what's your ethos in ingredients? We've talked about the organic and the vegan, but how do you choose your ingredients?
I choose them by specifically what they do and what they can add to the product. That's one of the first things. And also I'm looking for certified organic as well. Where I can get it, I will do. But if I can't, obviously I use the best grade of cosmetic ingredient that I can. So it's all about what they do, and that's got to be top of the agenda, really. But when I was going through the vegan certification, I mean, at the time when I had the product, I was going through the vegan certification. There was one product I had on there which wasn't classed vegan. So because my supplier had a different version, that I changed that particular ingredient in my product so it could get through the vegan certification. It was the same product but a different version. So yeah.
So they worked with you to
get
that sorted. Okay. So where do you find inspiration for your ingredients in general?
I tend to try them out. So obviously, whatever I choose has got to work on my skin for starters. That's another reason. So I tend to buy things and try them out and see how they feel on my skin, etc. But if I hear of something and it sparked my interest, I'm like, oh, so let me try that, see what it's like. So yeah.
And you use, because I've used some of your products. Also, I was a judge for the I've been a judge for the Free From Skincare Awards for the last 6 years, I think. But I remember all of your products coming past one year, so I got to try them all. And I kept going, I'm biased, but you should. It's a good one. But I remember all of them had a sort of yellow hue to them. Because is it sea buckthorn you use?
Yeah, definitely. So I love that.
Yeah, what made you go for sea buckthorn?
Because it's a good antioxidant. It's great for stopping degradation of collagen elastin. So, and I love the color. That's another thing. A lot of products, I really like the colors as well. So, yeah, like rose hip and black seed. I love the smell of black seed. So, yeah, it's just they're amazing.
Yeah, I suppose that once you start to formulate, and a lot of our new students will find this as well, is you start to delve into these ingredients and you get really excited by them and think, oh, I've got to use all of them. Yeah, I love that. I love that colourful hue that you have to your products, and we very much encourage colourful skincare as well, because it's just a testimony of the authenticity of its natural ingredients.
Yeah, it's great.
What else? If you have any questions for Helen, by the way, just pop them in the chat and I will put them to Helen and we'll have a nice chat about them in the next, coming 45 minutes or so. So if you want to know what it's like to start your own vegan, organic, natural skincare brand, now is the time to ask someone who's been there and done it. So do you manufacture yourself at the moment?
Yes, I do. I'm not outsourcing at the moment, not that big. So I'm a bit of a tortoise, shall I say, rather than a hare. So I take my time getting there. So I will get there. So
how have you set that up at home?
Well, I was renting a unit, but I had to move out of that because they're renovating the whole building. So I am set up at home. I'm up in the spare room. So it's just everything is in there at the moment. So
what does your lab look like?
Oh, wow. How can I describe this? I've got my fridge in there. I've got racks of products, etc. And obviously I've got a table that I work from. So I've got equipment, everything. But the spare room is pretty full. So
that's your home lab, your artisan lab. And
at the moment.
how do you feel when you go in there and you start formulating and manufacturing?
Oh, it's batten down the hatches. Mikey's not allowed to come anywhere near me. So, don't bother me. I'm in the zone. So, yeah, it's a bit. I swear I was a witch in a past life or something. So, yeah.
I think we probably all were. That's what we're formulating now, to be honest. We're carrying on the tradition of the wise witches.
Yes.
So, in terms of formulating, what's the best part for you? What do you enjoy the most?
I think because I like cooking, I like formulating. So I like making things in general and seeing how they turn out. And while you're making them, how they change. So I think that's my favourite part.
Yeah, I think that's probably something a lot of people watching today will be able to identify with as well, because if you can sort of create something in your kitchen, you sort of think, oh, well, there's nothing stopping me from being able to create my own skincare or hair care or even makeup or perfume, deodorants. We can all make these things ourselves because anyone can formulate, and that's very much the ethos that we have at Formula Botanica as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Here's a question from Rita. She says, Helen, so you manage your social media, you manufacture, you do your accounts, and you do everything else yourself. Is that the way it's set up at the moment?
It is. I'm still working on the marketing side as well. So I'm devoting this year to marketing because they do say it's 20% product, 80% marketing. So that's what I'm concentrating on this year. But I am a one-woman band.
Absolutely. And this is very normal. When you start out a business, that's the way it is. Because, when I took on Formula Botanica, I was doing everything as well. And, slowly but surely you take the hats off one by one and you give them to people. And sometimes there's hats that are sort of stuck and you have to get them off and hand them over. But that's pretty much, I think, where all of the students at Formula Botanica start out.
I think it's going to be difficult for me to actually hand it over to somebody else as well. That's going to be the hard part.
Yeah, there are always a few bits that are harder than others, believe me. So let's see. We're getting lots of questions in now. I was going to ask this question anyway, so I'm glad Lysandra asked it. What was difficult for you when you started your business? So I was going to ask, what was your biggest challenge when starting out?
Oh, my biggest challenge was me having imposter syndrome, being afraid of actually launching. That was the biggest hurdle for me at the time. I was scared because I was just, I can't do it, so it's dealing with this as well. That's the thing.
So how did you end up dealing with that? I mean, what got you over that hurdle to launch?
I actually went to an event and just listened to somebody speaking and how they got through their journey out through their hurdles. And it resonated with me. And I just realized at the time that the only person that could do it was me. And I had to just take that leap of faith.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. I interviewed Iklas from Arisa Botanicals on Wednesday this week. She's in Chicago and she's literally launched in the last 3 weeks. And I asked her the same question and she gave me exactly the same answer. And it's something that we hear so much. And I think all new business owners, regardless of what sector you're in, I think everyone goes through this where you sat there going, why would anyone buy
Yeah, exactly. It's a big one, but I got there. So that's the main thing. You'll get there eventually.
You have to break down those walls and barriers and just think, I've got something really, truly special here and I want to bring it out into the world and help people with it. And well, congratulations on getting there. And you did, 3 years ago, and that's not easy. So very, very nice. So Ziba asks, how many products do you have? So we talked about them a little bit earlier, but let's have another look at your creams, I think. Do you specialize in anything in particular?
Well, I would say I designed my face creams for people who had sensitivity, because I myself, I can't use a lot of products. So I designed it in that sense. But also if you have aging concerns, because at the age I have aging concerns as well. So it was all designed around sensitivity, aging concerns, etc. But also products that you didn't have to have a lot of. So for instance, my moisturizers, I also can use them at night as a serum. so they're quite light, so they're okay to do that. And then I have the body lotion. So I have 3 face creams and 1 body lotion, and that is a similar texture to the face creams. So that's all I have at the moment. I did initially start with 7, but then I decided on launch only to go with 3. So
okay. So why did you decide to launch with 3 and not 7?
I think it was partly because I was designing the range thinking about the fact that the projects would be multitasking, but you didn't have to use a lot to get the results you would with quite a few products. And then myself, I had a lip balm, I had a cleanser toner, 2-in-1 cleanser toner, which could also be used as a scrub. I can't remember what the other product was, sorry. But then I was just like, obviously using the products, but because my skin doesn't like a lot of fuss, I ended up having to stop using them. And I thought, well, this goes against the principle of what I'm talking about. If you've got lots of sensitivity, your skin probably doesn't like a lot of messing around with. So that's why I ended up just going with the 4, though I may bring out something else a bit later.
So yeah, well, that was going to be my next question. What's next? What are there more products coming to barefaced skin in the future?
I hope so. I just haven't sort of made up my mind yet what they'll be.
I like that. I like that. You're not in a rush, and that's really good. I see a lot of people come to us and they want to go 100 miles an hour. And, you know, they'll come to us and go, how soon can I finish the course? When can I launch my brand? I've got everything ready to go. All I need is the products. And we're going, slow down. It's just a little bit too much. You're not going to get there.
Yeah, so you get overwhelmed otherwise. So.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're taking your time because, you know, as you said, you're the tortoise, not the hare, but we all know who wins the race.
Watch this space.
Exactly. So Hallie asks, do you ship your products to Ghana, or do you ship them internationally, I should ask?
I do.
Okay. Through your website?
Yes. You can order through the website.
So if you want to buy some products from Helen, and you should, everyone watching, then Kelly's put up the links. So you can find Helen's website at barefaceskin.co.uk, and she's on Facebook and on Instagram, and you should go and follow Helen on both and support all indie brands who we're featuring because they're doing amazing work.
Yay.
I'll leave that up. Right, so I wanted to talk to you. Oh yeah, one other question I had was, what would you say is required to start your indie beauty brand? I mean, obviously you talked about the mindset. What else do you need in order to get started?
Oh, okay. It depends. Like, if you've got a good support system, that helps. That's one thing. Also, you know, you just have to be mindful of regulations for your country, etc. Like, I had to do my stability. I outsourced the stability testing and the microbiological testing and all those sort of things. Plus, also, I'd say look into trademarks, especially because I see a lot of people saying they have issues with trademarks, and that was one of the first things I did before I even launched, was sort out my trademark. So look at this. All very well having all the nice bits that you like to do, but you have to look into the things you don't like as well. Yeah.
Did you do your trademark yourself, or did you hire someone to help you?
No, I did it myself, but I did it through what's the government website? We've got a government website over here.
Intellectual Property Office.
Yeah, so I actually asked them if I had any questions. I could ask them questions and they would help me. So, but I did actually do it myself. Okay. So
I have to say, so did I. And I've worked with a few intellectual property offices directly in a couple of countries, and they've been incredibly helpful. So if you're watching this and thinking, how do I trademark? It is possible to do it yourself. You'll just have to, read up on it, but it does keep the cost down a little bit, which is good.
Yes.
For starting out.
And also search before you go to do your trademark. If you've got a name, search for it. Search.
Yes. Yeah, online, on social media, in the trademark directories internationally. There's a lot of research that goes into that. So we talk about the legals, talking about the trademarks. Obviously, we've talked about the product. So how did you get to the stage that you were selling on a website? How did you get that up and running?
Well, I did the website myself as well. I did it through Wix, which is quite easy to use. So it wasn't too taxing. So I set up the website, I put all the products on, everything. So yeah. And then if you need anything done with designers, I use people per hour, which is a bit like Fiverr. You can go on and ask people to rejig things if you need to. So things like that help. So
I like that. You've really cut the cost down this way, haven't you?
Yeah, I even did like all my terms and conditions on my website. I did through people per hour with a lawyer on people per hour. So yeah, I found a really good lawyer on there to do my terms and conditions. So
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. That's so hands-on. I think a lot of people feel that they have to learn how to do everything themselves, but it's so easy to find someone to come and help you with all these small elements, which helps keep the cost down in the beginning.
Totally.
So what else have we got? We've got, oh, here's a lovely comment from Lucia who says, I've tried Bare Face skin products. Their Hydrate Face Revival Cream. I love it. Leaves no residue, absorbs into the skin nicely. Feels soft and silky, smells amazing, really hydrating.
Oh, Lucia.
Yeah.
Oh, bless her.
Lucia.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this morning. And thank you everyone for joining us. And if you have any questions for Helen or for me, then please pop them up in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them, because obviously enrollment is currently open and the 48-hour mark will hit at 4 o'clock this afternoon UK time, and then we close on Tuesday. So yeah, if you want to join us, now is your chance. And Hallie says, you are one hardworking woman. You are. This is a motivation for us all. I completely agree.
Oh, thank you.
Right, let's talk a little bit about the courses, because we've had a couple of questions about that. First of all, let me put this one up. How did you find, this is from Marianne, thank you for joining us this morning. How did you find doing the course online with Formula Botanica? Well, let's answer that one first, then we'll come to the second part.
How did I find doing the courses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were really comprehensive. They have a lot of information that you can gather, so that's the main thing. And then obviously you've got to expand yourself with your experimentation. So I found them really, really good. So yeah, and considering it's online as well, because I like to do things in person and join workshops and things like that. So for me, even though I joined, I was a bit like, oh, because it's online. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, let's come to the second part of the question. Well, I mean, a lot of people think studying online is going to be really hard. You know, how did you navigate that when you first enrolled with us?
Okay, you just have to take it step by step. Don't panic, because that's what I tend to do. So yeah, you just have to sit and think about it and try and work things out in a non-panic manner. So, and you can always ask questions, because there's the Formula Botanica at the school. They have a classroom, so you can always ask questions in there, and people will answer questions. So that's the good thing about it. So
yeah, we always recommend to people that when they first come and study with us, if they've never studied online before, that you sort of carve out a day, a time, and a space for yourself, and that way you don't feel like you have to pigeonhole it into the rest of your life. You literally say, okay, Sunday mornings between 9 and 12 is my study time. I know that, I don't know, the kids can be with someone else, or no one's going to interrupt me at that time, or I'm not at work, whatever. And then you say, this is my study place. And I've got my desk here, I've got my notes, I've got my computer, I've got my ingredients, I can do a little bit of formulating here. And then you basically say every single day, every single week at that time, I'm going to sit down and do a bit of my course and create a plan. And so when you start with Formula Botanica, we give you planners as well that you can download and sort of fill in for yourself. And then you can say, right, I know I'm going to need 6 months to complete this course. So I'm going to plan it out over 6 months, or I'm going to need a year or whatever. It's entirely up to you. So we help you with that. And you touched a little bit on the community as well. So how have you found the community in terms of support, in terms of helping you on your journey?
It's really good. I don't think I actually put that many questions out there, but I tend to read a lot of what other people's questions, because sometimes they're similar to the ones I want to ask anyway. So that's a good thing about it. And it's 24/7. So you can go there anytime. And you can type in, if you're after a specific subject, and you can look through people's past questions. So, and then that way you can go on and continue with what you're doing. So yeah, it's good like that.
We're very proud of our community, and it's down to, you know, wonderful members like yourself who are willing to share their experiences, just like you're doing today, that people really find that they're lifted up by the messages that they get in that community. And so we run a big group here on Facebook called our online classroom, and you have lifetime access to that. And we enrolled our 10,000th student this week. But I think there's about 7,000 people in that group. Obviously, not every single person joins, sadly. But yeah, it's an amazing, uplifting, supportive place. And that's very much what we aim for, where people come and make friends, basically. And as you can see from some of the comments we've had today, you know, a lot of them are graduates and students supporting Helen on this journey and on her live stream as well, which is wonderful to see.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Lysandra asks, I'll just answer this one quickly as well, as how long does the course last? How long is the duration? It depends on each course. So if you go to our website, if most people start with our foundation diploma in organic skincare formulation, our diplomas all have 2 years for you to complete them. So you have 2 years access. All of our shorter certificates, you have 1 year access. And we find those very comfortable time frames if you study maybe a couple of hours a week, because almost everyone who studies with us has a very busy life and has to carve out that time and that place for themselves to study. And Andrea, you're always on our live streams, Andrea. It's so lovely that you support us each time. That's wonderful. That's incredible. The money side of it is obviously a major issue when starting up. Keeping the costs down that way is a very clever move. I completely agree. It's also how I started out. And it's, yeah, you have to bootstrap a little bit in the beginning.
Yes, definitely.
Let's see. Samantha asked, I'm going to put this one to you, Helen. What is the most important equipment I need to buy the course? I will say we have an equipment list on our help desk. So if you write to us, we can send you that. But I'd love to hear what equipment you bought in the beginning, Helen.
Oh, I think I went a bit mad, actually. I didn't just buy one thing. I bought loads of things. So yeah, I like shopping. That's another thing. So I went out and bought bowls, whisks, everything. Mixer. I've got a new mixer, so love that. So my partner thinks I should be using it in the kitchen. I'm like, you don't touch that. So yeah, that's come in handy. I've got hand whisks. I've got all sorts. So I can't say there's just one thing. I think you need a bit of everything. So
yeah, we recommend not to invest too much in the beginning.
No.
Obviously, it is easy to go mad, and not just with equipment, also with ingredients. And believe me, I have been there too, where you think, I'll just go and buy 2 essential oils to try out, and before you know it, there's like 20 in your shopping cart, and you go, but I haven't smelt this one before. I need to know what scent it has. But yeah, don't worry too much about equipment. We don't recommend that you buy too much in the beginning, because you basically can do a lot with what you already have, as long as you're not selling those products. They're just for testing purposes. Just get to grips with the basics of formulating, and then once you actually create your artisan lab at home, just like Helen has done, you can start to actually invest on behalf of your business. But even then, you know, it very much depends on what you're going to make. So if you were just making, say, facial oils, then you don't need to buy something that's going to help you emulsify. But if you're going to be mixing up creams, you know, maybe you need some hot plates, although Helen's just said that she loves cold press emulsions. So, you know, cold phase emulsions, I should say. So then you don't necessarily need any hot plates. So yeah, it very much depends on where you're going with your business. So we don't recommend you invest too much at the beginning. Okay, let's see. Oh, and let's see. Kelly has just put up a link. This is a very long link, so you can't see it. Click on it from the video, but if you go to the comments underneath the video, it's in there, and we have our equipment list up there. And we also have an Amazon storefront on Amazon, where you can see what sort of equipment, books also, and ingredients we recommend. So go and check that out.
Yes, Amazon and Google are God as far as searching for stuff to buy. So yeah, definitely do that.
Marianne says, thanks, ladies, for answering my question. I really appreciate it. You've given me the peace of mind that I can do it. I just need to take it one day at a time. Absolutely. You know, just like Helen said, you're the tortoise, not the hare. And if you just keep taking one step forward every single day, then before you know it, it builds up. I always like to give the example of when I took over Formula Botanica, we were getting 1,000 visitors a month on our website. Last month we had 350,000. So that you can look at that and go, wow, 1 to 350,000. That's an enormous leap. That's an overnight success. But no, that's us every single week putting out a new piece of content, one step at a time. And everyone can do that in their business as long as you just take it slowly.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, I guess I've got a couple more questions. If you have any other questions for Helen, just pop them in the chat because I will put them to Helen. I wanted to ask, once you start to study with Formula Botanica, what sort of things will you learn? Because I can tell everyone, but I really would love to hear it from you as well, having been through it.
Oh, there's all sorts you can learn from Formula Botanica. I mean, I wasn't a mask person, so you can learn things about making different kinds of masks, etc. Different gums that you'll use to do this. Different types of emulsifiers. You know, that world just went like that. It was like that. It went like that. So you can learn a hell of a lot. So yeah, it's comprehensive, but there's support there. There's information there that you probably won't get anywhere else. So yeah.
So if someone was wondering if they should enroll with Formula Botanica, what would you tell them?
Yes, I would say yes, because I wish I'd found Formula Botanica a hell of a lot earlier, because I think that would have saved me a lot of time. So yeah, I would say do it. Just do it.
Oh, thank you very much. That's lovely to hear. I've got another comment here from Lysandra, who says, can't wait to start the course, but I don't have space for a lab. I would recommend you head over to our YouTube channel and watch an interview we did with one of our graduates called Raphael, who's in Canada, and she formulates in a 99 square foot mobile home. And they also live in it. So it's not just a formulation lab, it's their home as well. And she's a real example of someone who's managed to formulate in a teeny tiny space and create a really viable business with it. So don't worry if you don't have lots and lots of space. You just need a small amount of space if you're starting out in the beginning. And as you've heard from Helen, you know, you can build up your brand organically over time by just adding little bits to it. And then as your business grows, you may have the opportunity then to expand. But don't worry, you don't need a huge space to start out with. It's not necessary. What would you say to that, Helen?
Definitely. You just need a corner, basically. So if you can have bigger, great. But if you haven't, as long as you've got enough space to sit on, write your notes and formulate, you can start there. So
yeah. Cool. So I guess the final question I have for you then is, what's next for your business?
Oh, do you know what? I haven't actually. Well, I have thought about it, but my thoughts have changed, because initially I wanted to go into stores, but now I think about it, I want to make my website the store that people visit. So, yeah, I think later on down the line, I'll probably have a few more products, not too much, obviously, because it's a small collection.
Yeah.
And see where we go from there, really, and just expand and get my name out there a bit more. So.
And this year is all about marketing for you, you say?
Yes.
What are you going to be doing this year in terms of marketing?
Oh, well, I'm actually learning about Facebook and how to be a Facebook whiz at the moment, because you can't do it all. I'm trying on Insta, it's not quite there. So Facebook is my market. So that's where I'm going to be concentrating on.
So watch this space. Let me just scroll back up and we'll find those links again for me to put up, because Kelly very kindly put them up. And I just want to point out, actually, you've got your logo on the wall behind you, haven't you?
Yes, this was what I made for stylists. So if I just do this, you can see it better. That's what I made for stylists out of rose petals. So yeah, and it's actually changing colour, so it's like living art. So
wow. So how are the rose petals in there then?
I stuck them on with bathroom sealant, the clear stuff, because the perspex is clear. So yeah, I just did that. And I just made the design with rose petals. I had to dry out the rose petals, then I had to use fire retardant on them for the show, because everything has to be fire retardant. So I had to it took me 4 days to make that.
Wow, that is absolutely stunning. Can we see it again?
Yeah.
Wow, I knew you made it for stylist. I didn't realize you.
Yeah.
Wow, God, hats off to Helen. So there you go. If you want this badly enough, you can learn every single skill, including drying out rose petals and sticking them on with bathroom sealant to create amazing, huge logos for trade shows. I love it. I've got a few more questions coming in now. We've got one from Kay here who says, did the course make your products better? It's a good question.
I think the course made me a better formulator. I had the products before I finished all the courses, etc. So I think it's expanded my knowledge, and also so when later on down the line when I want to launch new products, I've got a bigger repertoire that I can go with. So I think yes. So if anything does go wrong, then I can investigate why. Whereas before I would have just gone, oh, that didn't work, and so.
Yeah. Learning how to formulate is a real process of trial and error. And, you have to go through lots of disasters. I talk about this a lot on live streams. It must sound really chaotic, but you have to have those disasters in order to understand how your formulation is put together so that you can sort of backtrack if something does go wrong or if you ever have a problem in the future. And so we teach you how to become a formulator, not a recipe follower. When you study with us, you'll get... we'll give you some sample formulations to try out for yourself, but we really want you to create your own. So every single type of product, imagine, so I've got Helen's cream here, but imagine this is a lip balm. We'll say, you need between X and Y percentage of this type of ingredient, and that way you start to layer it together, and we show you exactly how. So then you just, create your own, and you're a master formulator, which is very exciting. I've got a question here from Andrea. Interesting one. A question for us both. Well, I'll let you go first. Not sure if other students feel the same. The info on ingredients when researching can be quite contradictory online. How do you get over that hurdle? Any suggestions on reliable places to properly research ingredients? So where do you research your ingredients?
Well, from doing the course, one online resource is PubMed. You can look through studies, etc., on different ingredients. And Google Scholar. I didn't know about those before I joined the courses. So those are two major places to go. Or depending on what you're searching for, you can actually go to producers of the products and ask them for information. They will help you. I found a few online through UL Prospector. And I contacted them for information, and I've had people phone me back or email me back saying, if you need any help with anything, then please do get in touch. So there's different ways. Yeah. So good.
Well, we recommend all of those places. It's very easy to go into Google and just type in an ingredient and then think, there's 60 million hits. But the problem is that a lot of those will be blogs that haven't necessarily got much basis in fact or reality. So we do try and show you how to research those ingredients. But as Helen said, there's some very good ingredient databases online. There's another new one called Kenberry, which we've been working with actually, and they've got a huge amount of information. And it's great to hear that ingredient suppliers are becoming more helpful in terms of providing information, because it wasn't like that about 5-10 years ago, but things have really changed now that India is effectively going mainstream. So that's great to hear. But also use the classroom, talk to your other student, talk to your peers effectively and see what they're doing as well. Another one from Rita. Do you see your brand going mainstream in the future? This is an interesting question.
It depends what you mean by mainstream. Like I said, I don't really necessarily want to go in stores anymore. And I think obviously with what's happening at the moment with the COVID situation, a lot of the companies are having to close down. So I think it may change things, and you may just, there'll be a lot more stores online rather than, on the high street. So
where do you see barefaced skin fitting into that?
Well, I quite like the idea of having my website be my online store and just growing from there. So I think that's quite a good model, really.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be in a store. I mean, I know I do like going out and smelling things and touching things, etc. So I think there'll always be that aspect there, but maybe not as intensely as it used to be. So you never know, we might end up in somewhere like Fortnum and Mason.
If you're watching Fortnum and Mason, here is Helen.
Yeah, a bit cheeky.
Well, no, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Because if you don't, as you said at the beginning, if you're not the one talking about it, no one else is going to.
Yeah.
I do my best, I have to say, when I'm meeting people. I always go with big bags whenever I meet journalists, and then I cover the table with graduate products, and I'm like, this is so and so, and this is so and so. You should write about this person. Yeah, but I find it interesting because we teach a business course which launched long after you joined us, our diploma in beauty brand business management. And we always say at the beginning, we want you to define what success means to you. And I was talking to a journalist about this last week, actually, and it's very easy to think success means global domination. But of course, that's not possible. Not every single beauty brand can aim for global domination. Otherwise, the planet would sink under the weight of all the lotions and potions that we're selling. Plus, not everyone wants that, because it's a completely different world once you start to reach those sort of levels. Not everyone can be the Tiffany Mastersons of Drunk Elephant. And not everyone wants that either. So we very much want you to define what success means to you. And that may well be, I have a side hustle and I stay in my day job, but it could also mean I raise millions and sell all over the world. And then there's a whole range of different scales in between as well. So yeah, it's a good question. And let's see, we've got a couple more coming in. This one's for me, interesting. But remember, if you want to ask a question to Helen, she is here. So Zeba says, do you feel some students are naturally better, or formulation maybe comes easier and more naturally to some people than others? Of course, study and hard work have their place. Interesting question. I suppose I could replace the word formulation in that sentence with cookery as well. Yeah. Some people are naturals when it comes to cookery, and others have to literally work through the process step by step. It will be the same with absolutely everything in life. Saying that, if this is your passion and you truly love it, and we see this with our students, they love their ingredients, and you can cover a table with botanical ingredients, and it really excites the people who come and study with us, then that passion naturally will, I think, drive you more to make it a success. Whereas if it's not something that you care about a huge amount, then it may not be the right thing for you. But we find that everyone who comes to us is so passionate about those natural ingredients and those botanicals that really gets them fired up. I think anyone can formulate, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's something that is exclusive to one group. I don't think it's just for chemists or pharmacists. I can see, 100 years from now, absolutely everyone formulating. That would be my vision for it anyway. And if you think about it, up until the mainstream beauty industry started to take over, maybe, 100 years ago, and started telling us you must wash your hair every day and you must use all these potions continuously, people did whip up a lot of things at home, or they did go and buy them, at the market. So things have changed a lot, and we've been almost conditioned to feel a certain way by the mainstream beauty industry. And I don't think it's entirely right. But I'm now getting up on my soapbox, so I'm going to get off it again, because that is not really what we're here to talk about today. But we can cover that one in a different webinar one day.
That was kind of a lost art, though, isn't it? So people used to do that. So I think we're getting back to it now.
Did you watch, is it Self-Made, the Netflix series about Madam C.J. Walker? Oh, she's amazing. So she was a black beauty entrepreneur in the US. And I think she was the first female millionaire in the US ever, which is incredible. And so she made these hair products. And so there's a 4-part series about her on Netflix. And I love how I think it's set in the 20s. I may be completely wrong there. I think it's set about 100 years ago. And yeah, it's wonderful watching all these people whip up things in their kitchens and, buy products at the market. Go and check it out if you haven't seen it.
I will. I definitely will. Don't you worry.
Oh,
we have Netflix now.
She is an incredible success story and inspiration, and one of the beauty pioneers. So definitely go and check her out. Let's see. Frosty says, hi, Helen. I've just enrolled to the diploma in organic skincare formulation. Welcome to Formula Botanica, Frosty. I'm excited to have you with us. a few days ago. I'm very excited too. Great. I'm a complete beginner. I was wondering if you were a complete beginner when you first started out at Formula Botanica, and how did you find the whole journey? And we covered a little bit of this at the beginning, but I'd love it if you could just answer this question for Frosty as well, please.
Okay, I wasn't a complete beginner because I had my products when I started Formula Botanica, but I would say joining Formula Botanica has expanded my knowledge and helped me become a better formulator. So I would definitely recommend it if you're thinking about it, or you just started. Just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for those kind words as well. And Frosty, you'll be seeing Helen in the classroom, although she's very busy with her own brand, obviously. Okay, so I think, let me just put up your links again. I think we'll finish it there. Here we go. So first of all, Helen, thank you so much for giving up, some time on your Sunday morning to come and talk to me and come and tell us all about barefaced skin. It has been so lovely to see you again, and I hope I get to see you in person again soon.
Oh yes, I hope so too, especially at the conference. Yeah.
Yeah, someone did ask about the conference. It won't be on this year, obviously, for very obvious reasons. We're hoping to bring it back next year, but watch this space.
Excellent. Thanks for having me. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
So I've put up Helen's website at barefaceskin.co.uk. Go and buy from Helen. Do it. Beautiful products. And I have used them. I have even judged them on skincare awards when they came past on the table, and I went, oh, it's Helen. You will not regret it. These are wonderful, wonderful formulations. And actually, it's very rare to find beautiful light botanical lotions on the market. So definitely go and purchase yours. And follow Helen on Facebook. You can see the link below me, and on Instagram, so that you can see what Helen's up to. And it sounds like Facebook's going to be the place to be 2020 for Helen.
Yes, definitely.
So we'll be putting this video up on YouTube afterwards as well, so you can watch it again. The replay will remain here on Facebook anytime you want to come back and find it on our Facebook page. And obviously enrollment is currently open and will be open until 4 p.m. UK time on Tuesday, this Tuesday. So only about 48 hours to go until we close. The next time we open enrollment will be in January 2021. So that's 6 months from now. And we do this so that all of the students can join at the same time and everyone can get started with orientation week, which will be, I think, commencing this week. If not this week, then next week, when my team will be welcoming everyone, all the new students, into the community and getting them started together on their courses. So come and join us. You won't regret it. We have over 10,000 students in 164 countries now. We welcomed in new students this week from Grenada and Dominica, which is amazing. And we would love to welcome you in as well if you haven't enrolled with us yet. We have a wonderful community. Our courses have won awards. We are super proud of it. And most of all, we want to help you learn how to formulate and maybe even start your own skincare or hair care brand. So click on the links below, come to formulabotanica.com, come and see us and come and enroll with us. And you'll be seeing more of Helen in our classroom and lots of other very inspirational entrepreneurs like her too. So thanks again, Helen, and thank you everyone for watching. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.